Welcome back, True Seeker. November 9th, 2018. Want to talk about what's going on in the headlines today, some really important things. And when we get to the end of this presentation, we'll take your calls. When you do call in, I'd like the focus of the conversation to be what is the solution to what we are facing? And I have some thoughts of my own, but today I'm more interested in your thoughts. The story that's disturbing me the most are the fires in California. This is becoming a very common theme. These deadly fires, these massive fires that grow rapidly beyond belief, one after the next. And you might recall last year, Vice Sports. Some of my work last night, I was talking about how Vice News made a documentary this year calling people such as myself hoaxers. And essentially another hit piece to shame the truth community. Last year, this same publication in their sports offering wrote this article about me after the Astros and Dodgers World Series. And I went back and read this article this morning, and I noticed something. They only covered one half of what I discussed. Last year, I showed how the Astros were destined to win the World Series, especially after the flooding of Houston by the numbers. And at that same time, I showed how the perfect opponent for them to beat was Los Angeles due to the fires that were set that synced up perfectly with the World Series. And what I was saying then is water puts out fires. Houston was flooded. LA burned. The Astros did end up beating the Dodgers. Anyway, this article, it doesn't discuss anything I wrote about Los Angeles and the fires. It totally neglects that half of the equation. And I don't think that's by accident, because since the time this hit piece was written, there's been a whole lot more fires in Los Angeles. And again, this year, it's the same exact theme. Case in point, on August 6th, there was a fire set outside of Los Angeles at the Cleveland National Forest. And I pointed out how the day that fire was set was exactly 78 days before the start of the World Series, October 23rd, where Cleveland and October both summed to 78. And I pointed out in this video that a month earlier in July, there'd been a big story in sports connecting Cleveland and Los Angeles. LeBron James had gone from Cleveland to Los Angeles, joining on July 1st, exactly 114 days before the 114th World Series, where LeBron James equals 114. So I was saying at this time, Dodgers look very good for the World Series. We're seeing the same thing as last year, fires starting with the appropriate name that sync up in days to the start of the World Series. And what do you know? The Dodgers ended up in the World Series. And also, like last year, they lost. Before I get into the fires that broke out in Los Angeles on the day leaving 53 days left in the year, where Los Angeles and burn equal 53, I want to come back and remind about the recent Masonic fire in Redding, California. This broke out October 14th, 9 days before the start of the World Series. And think about baseball and 9. Baseball, a game is a game of 9s. 9 innings, if you can throw 9 straight strikes, you're out of the inning. That's 3 outs. One of the rarest things in baseball there, the 9 straight strikes. But a lot of 9s in baseball. This fire, the Masonic fire, right before the World Series in California. And if you missed this work, we tried to call the fire department. We never heard back from them, but they said 38 acres were burned. Fires 38, Masonics 38. The fire was along Masonic Avenue, which has the Gematria of 74, like Masonic. The fire chief there, his name was Colin Crater, CK 74. The fire also impacted Benton Drive. And notice how the Gematria overlaps with Benton Drive and Redding, where it happened, as well as Firemen. A lot of 38 and 43 there. Masonics 43. I should have also mentioned that the word fire equals 43 when you run the reverse reduction and take into account the master numerology of E in reverse. E becomes the 22nd letter. Fire also sums to 43 when you take into account that rule. As for the Masonic fire being in Redding, California, if you write the address or the location, excuse me, the way you would on a mailing envelope, it has the Gematria 47 matching the angle on the compass and the Freemason logo, the Masonic logo. Masonic fire is also 58, like Freemasonry, like secret society. The date the fire began was a date with 42 numerology, Freemason 42. Remember, when you write out 42, it sums to 43. 43 is the 14th prime. Again, fire's 43, Masonic's 43, fireman's 43, Redding 43, Benton Drive 43. I always remind about this. Used to have a video up until the channel was deleted. Thanksgiving 2 years ago, the Dallas Cowboys, who always play on Thanksgiving, their halftime special was about what they did for Fire Station 43, donating them Ford F-150s. Ford equals 43, Dallas Cowboys 43. You pay attention, these numbers are always around the Masonic rituals. As for the surname of that spokesperson for this Masonic fire, Colin Crater, his surname Crater, perfect overlap with firemen in 3 of the 4 ciphers. Where it doesn't match, Crater's 47, the special number to Masonry. So we've tried to call Colin a number of times. We never got through. His name does also sum to 137. If you look up the Great Chicago Fire, it began at the address, the building number 137. Again, 137, the 33rd prime. Colin Crater, 137. Government, 137. Authority, the Masonic Bible, Morals and Dogma. How perfect is all of it, you know? And again, these rituals point back to Masonry. Case in point, today's fire, the big one in LA, it's being called the Woolsey fire. Woolsey, look at what number comes up, Woolsey. They're saying the Woolsey fires burned 75,000 homes, if I'm not mistaken, or displaced 75,000 families. And look what else Woolsey equals, 114, like how it's coming right after the 114th World Series. So let's go back and just look at some of the standout things here with this fire. This is what's going on right now in Los Angeles. Began yesterday, November 8th. It's still burning today. Today, November 9th, 18, has the 38 numerology like fire, like Masonic. Today also has the 58 numerology. We just saw how Masonic fire equals 58, like Freemasonry, like secret society. But it began yesterday, November 8th, 2018, a date with 57 numerology. Multiple fires broke out yesterday in multiple parts of the state. One in Northern California, and then several in the LA area. And here we are, you know, getting pretty deep into fall, approaching winter. Not typically when fires burn. Yesterday had 57 date numerology. The plural of fire is fires, which is exactly what we got on this date, 57. They appear to be in connection to the World Series. They come 11 days after the World Series, the master number. World Series 57 also pointed out Ventura County, where these fires are taking place around LA, is where the Los Angeles Rams practice. And as we've been talking about, since July, we've mentioned that the Red Sox likely could be in the World Series. And we predicted that if the Red Sox made the World Series, they would win in Game 5 because that was a span of 99 days from the Super Bowl. And we were showing the overlap with the Los Angeles Rams and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Also the Boston Red Sox and the New England Patriots. So anyway, that did end up happening. The Red Sox ended up making the World Series. They ended up winning in Game 5, as we said they might. Now we get these fires shortly after the World Series, where the front runners in the NFC to appear in the Super Bowl are the Los Angeles Rams, And we get these fires seemingly as part of this greater sports ritual. So notice again, date with 57 numerology, fires 57, World Series 57, Rams 57. And they began on the day, leaving 53 days left in the year, where the upcoming Super Bowl is number 53. If the Rams are to make the Super Bowl and face the Patriots, keep in mind Patriots equals 53. Also, Boston Red Sox, who Los Angeles just lost to in the World Series, Boston Red Sox 53. Don't forget that when you write out 57, it has everything to do with championships. Just using the alphabetic order, 57 sums to 131, like championship, like Super Bowl. Year after year, we talk about these tragedies, whether they be things blamed on natural disasters or terrorists, being synced up with the world of sports. It's clockwork. It's year after year. And again, who is working by this code of letters and numbers and dates in the calendar? It's clearly Masonry. We've proved that a million times. Last month, the Masonic fire, one of the greatest mockings yet to date. You know, only the blindest of the blind could deny what's going on. And again, keep in mind that Freemasonry is about the pursuit of light. You know, they have symbolism such as blazing torches. So a fire fits right in with their symbolism. So anyway, Scottish Rite, also 57. And the other thing is this date with the 57 numerology. If you leave off the 20, it was also a date with 37 numerology. 11 plus 8 plus 18, 37. Los Angeles is also 37. You know, in this same day that the fires broke out in the same community, they were having a news story about a mass shooting. I mean, talk about being terrorized, right? For the people who are too busy in life to seek truth, who are busy with school and work, and don't have a moment for anything else. Just imagine. I mean, your community's plagued with this big shooting, and now you got these big fires. You know, depending on where your house is, maybe your house is on fire. You're having to be displaced, and to think all of this stuff is being orchestrated by a group of people who have an agenda of madness. You know, people who seemingly have no regard for anyone. Also, keep in mind, one of the communities also being terrorized with the fires is called Paradise 37. Fire broke out there on the date with 37 numerology, the day leaving 53 days left in the year, Los Angeles 53. So here's the reporting on the Woolsey fire. The other fire burning in Ventura County, named the Woolsey fire, was sparked at Woolsey Canyon and tore into the community of Oak Park early Friday, burning homes and forcing residents to flee, fire officials said. My freshman year roommate in college, he's from this community. I wish I could still, I've lost contact with him. I haven't talked to him in about 10 years, but that's where he was from, Oak Park. Friday morning, authorities ordered a mandatory evacuation of the entire beachside city of Malibu, which lies along 20 miles of coastline and is home to 13,000. Fueled by dry conditions and strong Santa Ana winds. Remember last year how they were blaming the fires on Diablo winds? Who'd ever heard of that? Last year, the fires were blamed on Diablo winds, like the devil. Fueled by dry conditions and strong Santa Ana winds, the blaze had burned at least 12.5 square miles and is 0% contained. So notice the 13,000, 12.5 rounds up to 13. I'm surprised they didn't just put 13 there. Maybe it would have been too obvious. But remember, LA is 13. The Ventura Fire Department reported Friday morning, approximately 75,000 homes are under mandatory or voluntary evacuation. Again, Woolsey equals 75. So does World Series. Early Friday, the Ventura County Fire Department tweeted that the fire had jumped the 101 freeway at Chesbrough Road. Remember, 101 is the 26th prime, Fire also has that gematria of 26. This comes 11 days after the World Series, or a span of 12 days. 37 is the 12th prime, Los Angeles, 37. Just one more time, broke out November 8th, the day leaving 53 days left in the year. The right day for Los Angeles to burn. We've seen it before. At least 5 people dead in Paradise wildfire. Paradise, 53. And if this is predicted programming for the Super Bowl, in light of this breaking out on November 8th, don't forget that Tom Brady and Patriots both have gematria of 118. The other fire that broke out in California yesterday was in Northern California, not far from where Tom Brady's from. They're also saying that today, the date with 38 numerology, that this fire has now spread to the community of Chico and people are having to evacuate here. People being impacted by the fire. We pointed out yesterday, fire in Chico, overlap in 3 of the 4 ciphers. And from the Masonic fire, October 14th, to yesterday when this fire began was 25 days later. Fire. Masonic fire, 25 days prior, probably a precursor foreshadowing what was to come. Also, I can't help but think of this. This image was put out by the media after the shooting at the bar in Ventura County. The fire truck with the number 44 front and center. We know what 44 has to do with shooting, but they were sure to place the fire truck with this number hours before the fires were set. You know? If it really is about harnessing negative energy from people, you can understand why a community like Los Angeles gets picked on. One of the most densely populated cities in the world, and of course in this nation. So, how many people suffering from, all this needless frustration caused by the events in the last 24, 48 hours? Also, with regards to the shooting and this being this entire, circus having to do with the World Series, what's the one image they continue to talk about? The one victim they continue to talk about this shooting. They only have one picture of him. They continue to show it. Supposedly 12 people were killed. I've only heard the media talk about one person. I've seen this photo on TV now for 24 hours straight. You can see a baseball catcher's mask, an umpire, baseball, right? His father, every time he goes on, has on the gray Dodgers cap. You could say, well, gray Dodgers cap, it's Los Angeles, a lot of baseball fans. They were just in the World Series. But, I mean, really, the umpire thing. And then, of course, if you have eyes to see, it's just clear that this is horrible acting in a completely contrived news story. But all the same numbers coded here. A father, his phone. And what image is he showing on his phone? It's like this is the only image that exists of his son, right? Give me a break. Phone, father, Kaufman, all 58. The shooter's name, 58. Number that they use again and again. Cody Kaufman, his son, the same as mass shooting. The father's name, Jason Kaufman, 117. Like the shooter's name, Ian Long, like college night, like a shooting on 11/7, November 7th. Again, just one more time. The image of his son being an umpire connects to Los Angeles and shooting through gematria. That's why this is the code to know, because it allows you to see what they're really up to. So, for some people, the obvious isn't transparent enough. Horrible acting, fake acting, nonsensical story. You show the numbers and how consistent they are every single time, Only people who don't want to see can deny it. And people need to learn to want to see. I feel like in Los Angeles right now, there's a group of millions of people who would probably want to see this. You know, how many people have had to evacuate their homes and live with the fear of their home being burned down just in the last year's time? And realize all of these things they do to us, they feed into other narratives too. So, by the way, if you missed what I said before, this guy, he said he has a baby daughter on the way named Aurora. And remember who the shooter was in Aurora? James Egan Holmes, 58. Also, this could be a coincidence here, but from Governor Jerry Brown's birthday to the shooting was 214 days. The Los Angeles Dodgers equals 214. Also, in our next peer cipher, the Los Angeles Dodgers equals 88. And think about how the Dodgers last won the World Series in 88. This past season, the World Series began on the 88th day of the year. From the for the man calling in right now, hold on, I'm about to start taking calls. Just be patient. But from the date of the fire, the date the fire began to the upcoming Super Bowl is 88 days as well. Span of 88 days. That number again. Number that has a lot to do with time. Also, I don't know if you guys caught this, but Brandon Kelly supposedly survived the Las Vegas shooting and the Thousand Oaks Country Bar shooting just the other night. Look how his name goes with mass shooting. You know, he's the only other person I've seen in the news besides this umpire. This comes on the back of the yoga shooting where the two victims had the name Gematria syncing up with mass shooting. Also, order out of chaos. All right, so to switch gears for a second, you know, just another example of the rituals by the numbers. Michelle Obama says she'll never forgive Trump. This is today's news, November 9th, on the 2-year anniversary of Donald Trump becoming the president-elect. And here's what jumps out about that. From Trump's birthday to today's is the 149th day of his age. Michelle equals 149. If you don't count the full span, it's 148 days later. Michelle's book coming out is Becoming, 148. Donald J. Trump is 148. And the other thing that's 148 in regards to Trump and books is The Art of the Deal, his best-selling book, The Art of the Deal. So, what are the odds about that? This story has to do with Michelle's book coming out, how she can't forgive Trump for the birther thing. Remember, the first year of Obama's presidency, Donald Trump was front and center for bringing forth the remarks about birther. Birther equals 44, like how Obama was number 44. And then for the last year of Obama's presidency, it was all about Trump running for office. And now Trump's number 45, but only the 44th person to be president. Don't forget that Donald also sums to 119 in Jewish Gematria. Here we are again on November 9th. The other thing that's interesting about Michelle Obama is she's 54 years old right now. Trump's 72. Michelle Obama equals 54 and 72. And she's about to start her book tour for her new book, Becoming, with Oprah Winfrey. And anytime I think of Oprah Winfrey, I think of Donald Trump, because it was 1988 that Donald Trump talked with Oprah about the presidency. And remember, Oprah Winfrey equals 58. Oprah also equals 58. Donald Trump would go on to win the 58th U.S. presidential election. When Trump talked to Oprah, it was in the year 88. As we know, that's a big number with the history of Trump. Trump 88. And here we are today on a date with 58 numerology. What a circus, what a puppet show. You know, all these people talked about as if they're heroes. Really, they're just selling us all out, keeping us divided and worked up. I put out a video this morning on the Melbourne terrorist attack. If you missed that video, I'll just go through this real quickly. Notice the emphasis on terrorist incident. That sums to 239, which is the 52nd prime. Terrorist equals 52. Today leaves 52 days left in the year. ISIS also equals 52. They blamed it on ISIS. Don't forget, government and authority equals 52. Terrorism, government by intimidation. Terrorist incident also sums to 94. The word terror also sums to 94, and this comes 94 weeks after the last attack in Melbourne that was just like this. And notice, one of the elements of this story is a fire. A fire. Today has 38 date numerology, fire 38, Masonic 38. We got big fires over here in the US, both Masonic, English-speaking nations, English and Gematria 38. So just real quick, Melbourne. I was also told by somebody from there that you don't pronounce the R, you just say Melbourne. They say they call it Melbourne over there. So, all right, that's new to me. Melbourne. Melbourne and Freemason. They got the same gematria. Today's attack happened in the province of Victoria, November 9th, Victoria 119, 11/9. All-seeing eye, Orthodox, Star of David. The all-seeing eye, Masonic symbolism. Again, today's date, the 58 numerology. The last attack was January 20th, 2017, a date with 58 numerology. Big Freemasonry numbers, as we know. Today's date also has the 38 date numerology, stabbing 38, fire 38, death, murder, killing, RIP. They're all 38. And today's a really perfect day for terrorism by the numbers. The 313th day of the year, leaving 52 days remaining. Again, terrorist equals 52. 313 is the 65th prime, terrorist 65. Too perfect. Of course, they come out and blame ISIS. They said he said Allahu Akbar. This emphasized phrase here, barbecue-style gas cylinders, has gematria to match with Scottish, as in Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. Bourke Street has the gematria of 75 to go with New World Order and Order Out of Chaos. The premier for Victoria is 46 years old, matching the word chaos. And Order Ab Chao, the Masonic motto, Latin for Order Out of Chaos. This is the premier right here, Daniel Andrews. And notice he's the 48th premier. From his birthday to today is the 127th day of his age. Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, 127. 4 months and 4 days. What do we know about that number? The 18 weeks and 1 day is also a big one too, because the prime minister, it's his 181st day of his age, and 181 is the 42nd prime to go with Melbourne and Freemason. It's funny how British people, or Australians aren't technically British, but it's funny how they add R's to words that aren't there, and then they have a word with an R in it, and they don't pronounce it. I just can't make any sense out of that. But again, that Allahu Akbar phrase too, it's got the 74 code in it, you know, to go with stabbing, killing, Masonic, Jewish, Gematria, English. Stab's also got the 42 thing. Can just imagine a future United States where they disarm us and then they keep up the ever-growing exponential rate of terrorism, and then it's all stabbings, just like they do in these other nations. But look at how their police are starting to look over there, too. All across the world, the same thing going on. The militarization of the police. Again, since the end of 2011, the United States of America has been declared an active battleground in the war on terrorism. That means we technically live in a war state with wartime privileges. And here it is from the January 20th, 2017 incident in the same place to today, 94 weeks. Terrorist incident emphasized in the headlines, 94. Terror also emphasized, 94. Our two most pure ciphers. This is why for 3 years I was able to just use these two ciphers right here and see more than enough. You know, just learning the reverse just gave us that much more ability to see. Don't forget, when you write out 94, it sums to 147, like Freemason, like conspiracy. Big numbers to the game. What I want to do before I open up the phone lines is I want to call the Ventura County Police Department and ask them about this active shooter drill they had in their community in light of what was reported in the shooting. They ended up switching this guy's name around. It ended up being Ian David Long. As I said yesterday morning, some news stations were reporting David Ian Long, others were reporting Ian David Long. They decided with Ian. But I want to give them a call and ask them about, what are the odds of this? And see if they got anything to say or if they'll even talk to me. So make a phone call here, talk about one fun thing there with the rig world of sports, and then we'll open it up for your phone calls. So let me see. Try this out here. Get the volume on, make sure we're turned up. Okay, we're there. All right, so we're going to call the sheriff's office. Jeff Dean, he retired now. Yesterday was his last day on the job. All right, 50. Oh, hold on. Do I got the right number there? No, I don't. Hold on. Try this again. All righty, let's try it out.
You have reached the Ventura County Sheriff's Department. If you need a sheriff's deputy, please hang up and dial 911 or 805-654-9511. Otherwise, please choose from the following options. For jail information, press 2. For sheriff's record, live scan fingerprinting, Megan's Law information, or business licensing and permits, press 3. For a specific patrol station, press 4. For information about a warrant, traffic citation, or obtaining a restraining order, press 5. For information about an impounded vehicle, press 6. For Sheriff's Human Resources, Recruiting, the Academy, Sheriff Dean, or Media Information Officer, press 7.
That sounds like one.
For Human Resources, press 1. For Recruiting, press 2. For the Ventura County Criminal Justice Training Center Academy, press 3. For Sheriff Dean's office, press 4. For the media...
7-4, huh?
Hello, you've reached Sheriff's Administration. Our office hours are 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. To contact other departments within our agency, such as the jail or sheriff's records, please hang up and dial 805-654-2380 or visit us on our web at www.vcsd.org. To leave a message for Sheriff Jeff Dean or his assistant Angela Gibson, please wait for the beep. For future reference, if you wish to bypass this message to leave your message, please hit the pound key. Thank you. Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Hi, Sheriff Dean. I really hope you get this message. I heard yesterday in the news you're retiring. But I want you to know before you go that some people are on to how you and other law enforcement officials are selling out the American public. These hoaxes, these false shootings that you guys contrive as the authority, we see through them, we know how you operate. We don't know if you're the henchman or if you're part of the planning. That's the one thing we don't know, but we do see how all of these shootings are numerical rituals, a practice of Kabbalah, which is important to Freemasonry, which you're likely invested in as a law enforcement officer. You're going to be exposed, sir, you and all your colleagues. We know the shooter's name equals 117 to go with the date 11/7. We know college night equals 117. We know this horrible actor you have in the news, Jason Kaufman, his name equals 117. And we see how you synced up the shooting drill of September 10th, 2017 with the actual hoax shooting perpetrated in the news. September 10th, 10/9, like 109. We know shooting equals 109, as does Los Angeles. We saw how that's the day leaving 112 days left in the year. And the shooter's name, Eaton David Long, also sums to 112, as does the supposed officer who looks just like Mitch McConnell who died. Ron Helis, 112, 112, the all dialing code for 911. If you could call me back, I'd like to know how much money you took as a bribe to participate in this propaganda. And do you really think it's worth it? I'd also like to know how you sleep at night. It's a real shame what you guys do to us out there. You know, it's pathetic. At least the good news is you're retiring, but I'm sure in your place, there'll be another sellout. Until next time. They never pick up the phone. I hate it. It's like, you can't talk to anybody. Let me see if, let me see. Los Angeles Times. Let's see if we can call a local paper and we get somebody who has an ear to listen. Let's see, contact number. Oh, I saw a number there. All right, they got one number. Let's try it out. See if the Los Angeles Times is willing to listen.
Thank you for calling the Los Angeles Times. If you know the 5-digit extension of the party you wish to reach, you may enter that number at any time. If you are calling regarding your newspaper delivery, to place a vacation stop, or to start a new subscription, enter 1. For classified advertising, enter 2. For display advertising, enter 3. For direct mail advertising, enter 4. For calls concerning editorial or news items, enter 5. To repeat this, for California section or city desk, press 1. For news accuracy, reader's representative, press 2. For letters to the editor, opinion, editorial, press 3. For food, health, travel, books, home, image, Saturday, and LA affairs, press 4. For calendar, TV, film, movies, and blogs, press 5. For sports, press 6. For the business section, press 7. To repeat this menu, press the star key. To return to the previous menu, press For California section or city desk, press 1. For news accuracy, reader's representative, press 2. For letters to the editor, opinion, editorial, press 3. For food, thank you for calling the Los Angeles Times Reader's Representative Office. To notify us of a possible error in a Times article, or to share your concerns about what is published in the Los Angeles Times or on latimes.com, you may leave a message at the end of this recording. If you are calling about a subscription, billing, or delivery problem, please hang up and call 1-800-LA-TIMES. That's 1-800-528-4637. If you would like to report an error or wish to raise a concern about the Times journalistic standards and practices, please leave a message after the tone. We can't return every message that is left, but we do review all comments and forward inquiries to the appropriate editors and reporters. Thank you again for calling the Reader's Representative line. Please leave your message after the tone. When done, hang up or press the pound key.
Hi, I have a concern and a thought for you. The next time there's a mass shooting in Los Angeles, what you should do is investigate if what's being reported by the authorities, the police, if there's any truth to it. Because what's going on all throughout this nation and truly this world is police is being controlled by Freemasonry, which of course controls our government and probably has a lot of influence there at your paper. And they are staging these incidents by a code, by a ritual that's important and secret to them, part of their secret society. The practice is called Gematria. It's the practice of coding numbers into words. You can go through every mass shooting reported in recent years and prove that this is true. If you decode the shooter's name and look at the date, you're going to see how the name syncs perfectly with the date. It's the same thing again and again. For example, Ian Long is the shooter supposedly at this country western bar, the Borderline. Ian Long sums to 117 to go with the date 11/7. If you write out college night, it sums to 117. That phony baloney actor, Jason Kaufman, what do you think his name equals? 117. And, you know, there's a whole lot more to this, but it would be really cool if a major paper picked up on this practice and did some real journalistic reporting. I mean, papers are supposed to be here to inform the people rather than just pander to the government and authority. Then we could have an informed citizenry. And I think that was the point in the Constitution of having a free press, so that the citizenry can be informed instead of duped, which is what you guys are participating in, whether you realize it or not, by just going along with what the police officers tell you. You know, they have to create an excuse why we need Big Brother, why we need to give our tax dollars so they can keep us so safe, which, as we know, they certainly don't do. So anyway, you got my number. Give me a call back. I can tell you a whole lot more about this code and what's been going on. Until next time. So anyway, we covered the main points here. What I am going to do is open up the phone lines for the callers, and let me make sure that I should have checked at the beginning to make sure this is working. Hopefully, I haven't been just broadcasting to nobody this entire time. Okay, you guys are here. Oh, there's our first caller. He's on it.
What's up, Zach?
Hey, how are you doing?
All right. Hey, this Tony, man. I've been sending you texts during the week. I want to talk about basically what you're talking about today. Now, to piggyback on what you've been saying earlier, look how they did the game last night. And it was all about what you talked about. So, Mr. Cam Newton, right? He got his 50-second loss. Why? Because it's 52 days left in the year. It was all props. Basically, exactly what you're talking about.
Well, hold on. Let me just. I forgot. I'm gonna stay with me. I forgot to cover one thing that I meant to talk about, the sports game. So yesterday, I believe, was Mike Tomlin's 239th day of his age, the 52nd prime. But yesterday was the day leaving 53 days left in the year. Pennsylvania equals 53, Carolina 53. But what I meant to mention is a big number on yesterday's game was 30, and the Steelers have that running back, number 30, whose name's Connor, which equals 30. And now he's been on primetime twice this year, and they've talked all throughout the game about his cancer. Yesterday was November 8th, 118, cancer equals 118. The other time, he was his first time on primetime, and where that whole night the story was his cancer, it was September 24th, 2018, a date with numerology of 44 and 26. And in the base ciphers, cancer also equals 44 and 26. It has me wondering, has this guy ever even really had cancer? Because this all seems a little bit too scripted. And it's also no doubt part of the reason Le'Veon Bell's been sitting out all these games, their star players, so they can get this guy in for the cancer narratives on primetime football. And of course, in a nation where almost everybody dies from cancer, and a nation where almost everybody watches football, especially in primetime, these are stories that resonate with a lot of people. So anyway, back to your call, your point, you got it.
Yep. So basically, Zach, what you're saying, piggyback again. Look, you talked about 30, right? So guess what? So Cam Newton, right? So what happens is it's all about the foreshadowing. So you talked about the 48 as well. Cam Newton got his 48 in his 117th game. You talked about the 117 as well.
Right.
Well, the next game is against the Lions. Lions equals 69. So that's how you foreshadow. So they're going to get their 69th win versus the Lions.
There you go.
That's what we've been missing. Okay? So then look at this. Mr. Ron Rivera got his 50. He stayed on 70. See? So So everything you talk about in the news, it goes right to the games. That's why the games are scripted, as you said. And for everybody listening, you need to listen to them. You know, I learned a lot from you, Zach. I make thousands of dollars every week from you. I appreciate it. You know what I mean, for teaching me the code. And it's just so scripted, man. It's just like Ben Roethlisberger. He's 84 and 30 at home. So it's a tribute for Sunday. So he's 84 and 30. So now Sunday equals 84 and 30. So they foreshadow. That's how they script in the games. Okay?
Very good.
Another thing. So I'm going to go back. Look how they doing for Sunday, Zach. I'm going to go ahead real quick, and I'm giving everybody free money. So I'm going to do two things. One more thing is the Saints going to win. You know why? Because Drew Brees already got 107 losses in his regular season. Well, he got 149 wins. Guess what equals 150? Philadelphia Eagles, if you spell it out. Mercedes-Benz Superdome equals 107. He already got 107 losses, so he's not going to get 107 because he already got 107. So now you foreshadow week 11 equals 107. So you see how they doing it? So if you guys do a template, as you talked about, Zach, and everybody stop being lazy and work together, we could get this right every time and make money. You know what I mean?
That's what we're trying to do.
Sean Payton walked in with 112. You talked about the news today. So Eagles equals 113. So he's going to get his 113. It's over and over. Same thing over and over again.
Absolutely. What's amazing is how they script it all so tight and think it out perfectly. That's the part that blows my mind, but that is obviously what they do. That's how we figured this out. So.
Yeah, exactly, man. And then, Zach, like, here's the gym right here that we all need to discuss tomorrow, is that look at the game Sunday Night Football, Zach. Guess what it's about? The fucking American team and the fucking flag. So the Eagles play the Dallas Cowboys. Guess who's going to win? The Cowboys. Because, look, all right, Dak Prescott got 40. He's playing his 41st game, and he has 12 away wins. 41 is the 13th prime. He's going to get his 13th prime. Meanwhile, Doug Peterson, the coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, this is his 41st game, but Carson Wentz already got 13 wins. So you see how they do it? And Doug Peterson's 41st game, he stays on 13 wins. So that's how they do it. As you mentioned earlier with the prime numbers. Primes are so important.
Absolutely.
They go 2-2 versus Cowboys. Cowboys equals 22. I could keep going on and on, man. Flag, 13 strikes, 13 colonies, as you mentioned. You know, so it's the same thing. Look, Dak, right here. I'm gonna give you one more, then I'm gonna let you talk. It's the 21st game for Dak Prescott. 21 is I think the 8th triangular or the 8th Fibonacci. So look how they do it. 21st game, he stays on 8 losses. See? That's what I was trying to get my point to you. Then he get his 13th win. 13, Philadelphia Eagles 13, Dallas Eagles 13.
Very good work, man. You're impressing me, and I'm glad to hear you're making money off this. That's awesome. So, very great.
God, I do, man. And I want everybody else to too, Zach. So like Saturday, I'm gonna chime in and I'm gonna give some. I write everything down during the week, and it hurt me so much because I be seeing the games you be missing. And I'd be like, damn, man, it's just if you knew this. It's all about foreshadow. It's just like our life. Our life is predetermined, man. So this is how they mock us. If our life's predetermined, all we got to do, guys, is just foreshadow the games ahead. It's very simple. Like yesterday, Zach, I won. Okay, not to cut you off, because listen, I won money off the Bucks, right? Let me tell you why. So I knew I go on a head-to-head record. Golden State has 54 wins versus the Bucks. Well, guess what, Zach? Their next game is in Wisconsin on ESPN. So Golden State stayed on 54 because ESPN equals 54. So the TV channels are the most important that everybody listens to. So ESPN is 54, so Golden State stayed on 54. Meanwhile, Golden State's gonna win in Wisconsin. Why? Because Wisconsin equals 55. So see how they do it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. So TVs are important, guys. We got to start putting the TVs in there. It's just like the Atlanta Falcons versus the Browns. You know, they're going to beat the Browns, but it's an upset narrative too, but I'm scared. But, you know, NBC equals 45, and they play on NBC Sunday Night Football. Thanksgiving. Their next away game is on Thanksgiving. They equals 45. Thursday equals 44. Atlanta gets their 44th away win. They on 40. TNF equals 40. So we'll discuss some of these things Thursday, but I also want to give you props, man. I appreciate you for teaching me this because I make money off of it, and I appreciate everything you're doing, man. Just keep it up.
Very welcome. Great call. And this Saturday when we do the decodes, I'm going to open up the phone line for people to call in. We'll do that at the end. So appreciate it, man.
Yep. All right, man.
All right. You have a good night. Good night, good day, whatever time it is, wherever you are. But the phone line is up if people want to call in. I appreciate that call. But what I'd really like to talk about is I guess that was a solution. We can work together to make money and build this thing. So that is part of the solution. But in terms of solutions I was thinking of proposing is, what ideas do you guys have? What are we not doing yet that could make this work appeal to people? You know, it's not appealing to enough people. I can say that for certain after 5 years of doing this. Does anyone have any brilliant ideas to help break the ice on this subject for people out there that's not reaching? What could we do different? And if you want to call in, oh, all right, the Discord, that's a great idea too. I got to get on that. Thanks for the reminder, Tom. I believe Crystal set that up for us. But if you guys want to call in, if anybody has a great idea to catapult the message, 509-731-0567. Waiting for your calls. Let's take a peek at the chat while I'm waiting. Maybe some people are shy to call in, but they left a comment. Yeah, that Butte County fire. Butte has the Gematria of 67, which is the 19th prime, and that fire began November 8th, 11 plus 8, 19. Funny, Marty. Well, if nobody wants to phone in today, if nobody's got any ideas, that's okay. Maybe we need another day to think on it. But just give you guys another minute here. If not, we can wrap it up. Yesterday we went overtime, so maybe today we can cut it a little short. We're 8 minutes shy of an hour right now. I see a conversation about healthier pizza. A good way to have. Oh, here's a call. Oh, I know who this is. Oh,
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, Zach?
Hey, man.
I just was thinking about what you were saying. It's like people, like, when you tell them about the numbers and the letters, they think they've been programmed to think that numbers, numerology, and numbers are bad. That's how they program us. They think it's evil and stuff like that. But you got to show them, like, visual stuff. You like, did you see the Freemason Royal ritual? Did you see how they was mocking the founding of America? If you would show that to all Americans, and they still can't see the truth, what else can we do, Zach? It is right there in our face. You show them that declaration to start Israel before World War I. You show that at them in their face. They don't believe that. Then you tell them about the Titanic. They don't believe that. So if you put the visual in their face, that all the democracy do is showing you how they do it, how they do it ritual, how they plan this stuff like 50 years, 100 years ahead of time.
Absolutely.
And don't you think it was funny how they had that? I didn't even know they had that anniversary last year. I know it was founded in 1770. I didn't even think about the anniversary last year. Did you think about the anniversary last year around that time?
So last year, the 300-year anniversary of Freemasonry was actually June 24th, 2017. But then they had that celebration on Halloween. And I don't know if you can see the screen right now, but what that made me think of is if you write out the word costume, you'll see it's something 90. Whoops, costumes 96. Freemason is 96, and the word uniform is also 96. And I was just thinking about them having this big Freemasonry gathering celebration to honor the 300-year anniversary. And I just got to peek real quick, actually, at how long it was from June 24th to Halloween, because they did that thing that you tipped us off to on the radio show this week on Halloween. So I just want to see how many days after they waited from the actual 300-year anniversary. But yeah, I watched it, and it was pretty eye-opening. So it was 129 days after the anniversary, right? And the reason they did that is because in Jewish Gematria, America equals 129, and that was a big focus of it, the founding of America. So
you see how they was mocked. They did George Washington, Ben Franklin, mocking how we gonna put the all-seeing $100 bill, how we gonna build Washington, everything gonna be Freemasonic, everything. And you show that to people, and they still don't want to. They don't want to see the truth.
Right. I think that's just it. So many people don't want to see it. So many people just don't want to see it. So they just shy away from everything truth related. And that's why I say I feel like we have to go to places where people are hurt by these atrocities, such as, the people in Los Angeles right now. But will they even be willing to see what's truly happening with these fires? So something I forgot to mention was today CNN had some education about a new type of phenomenon that's happening during these fires. Hold on, where's this post at? They said it's called a fire whirl. Somebody captured this on camera, this big blaze coming down out of the sky, and then they explained what a fire whirl is. And I said, really? I don't know about that. And I just noticed that the Gematria fire whirl synced up perfectly with the baseball. It had the same Gematria as Major League Baseball and Major League, and even Gematria of 135, like how it was the Dodgers' 135th season that just concluded. So
last year, say the Dodgers in the World Series, they had the fire last year. The Dodgers in the World Series get fired. People don't see like, oh, this is coincidence, and that's it. Then I was looking on the internet. They're talking about, I got to see Kim Kardashian tweet talking about, she got to evacuate her house and stuff and pray for Casablanca. I think that's where they stay, Casablanca, wherever they stay at over there, Malibu Beach or whatever. People don't see these are rituals. They don't see that these are rituals. And I was watching Alpha from the Truth video like a couple of weeks ago. He talking about like something over there in California, like something about the winds or something, that they got to notify the customers about the high winds. They got to cut the power off. And he was talking about how they just be cutting their power off and not even let the people know what's going on.
Right.
And then I was thinking about that the economics cover of 2019 with the black cover. So they already kind of experimenting with a little bit in California with it already, but cutting the people lights out, not even telling them it's wind. And he said he went outside. There wasn't even no wind outside. They cut everybody's power off. Huh.
Crazy.
Yeah, but I just want to make that point about that Freemason. I think most of I look at your blog all the time, but I don't think the people who watch your videos, they need to see that Freemason videos, to see how they mock the founding of America. And then show that to the people who don't believe in Gematria or whatever.
I think you're right. Hey, I really appreciate it. Somebody keeps calling. I think they really want to get in. They've called like 8 times now while you've been on the phone.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'll let them in. Thanks again, friend. Always a great call. Take care, man. Hello, caller?
Hello.
You got through.
Hey, I don't know if it's a great idea, but maybe try to make like catchy thumbnails, like clickbait, like how you can win all this money on betting sports or whatever. Just something that catches people's eye more, like a thumbnail, a colorful thumbnail, big words on it.
Powerful 1-minute videos. I agree. I think it's a great idea. Friend, I'm going to keep moving on. Somebody else is calling in a bunch too. So great idea. I like it. I'm going to switch it over. All right, next caller.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Shaq. Are you live?
We're live.
Yes. This is Izzy. One of the best ideas I have is try to get like a major upset, and then have the newspaper and say it, and then have this is date, this is gonna happen, and then when it happens, it happens. It could be like a major upset, like a blowout, you know, and then someone's gonna pick it up. I think you did that before, but when that happens, or a major game, and just then it's gonna catch up. Gematria, Jack picks winner, upset winner, or something like that, and people gonna get attracted to that, and might find some interest.
It's a good idea. It's been done before, but we could do it more often. We got to wait for those games to come around, though, and we have to make sure we get it right. Like a good example earlier this year would have been the Bills and the Vikings. Yeah, that's a way.
And something else. You can always plan it like around like major holiday, Thanksgiving, Christmas. That's what people watch during the Thanksgiving football,
right?
Something like that, because most people are on the holidays they're home watching football, eating,
right?
So it's something like major like that. So just something to think about. That's about it. I'm gonna let someone else on the phone chime in.
All right, I appreciate it. Great call. Thanks for the idea. You have a good day. Our friend in Arizona, what's going on?
Hello, Truth Seekers.
Hey.
Missed most of the podcast, but I just listened to the end here. I think it's pretty obvious, and we've said this before. We got to get out and hit the pavement. Because and then you really see how many people are out there in this community. Maybe we just set up something where we try to get as many of us to meet at one location, and then we just work from there. Because the more and more people see this, then they're going to say, "Oh, yeah, that crazy guy, the guy at the post office that talks about the numbers all the time." It's just how the sheep operate. They've got to see it. It's got to get outside the internet, and I think that's the biggest thing. Once they see it, out on the street, then I think this thing could, grow further than what it is. But right now, I think it's just stunted because, we're just in one spot. We need to move. We need to move around. But I know we said that before, but I think that's a big part of this.
Right. Yeah, I'm with it. That's the way I feel too. I feel like I need to be outside, and instead of talking to a computer screen, talking to actual people, and getting some sort of live documentary together that makes things look exciting and more interesting. So.
Yeah, but this is how we've been able to learn, though. I mean, this is a good thing. Just like you documented this for a year on a blog before you put it in front of people. There's enough people in this community now that know it well enough that, we can start hitting the streets with this. I mean, a couple years ago, probably couldn't have done that. Just not enough people knew it well enough. I think now we just need to do this. We at least need to see how many people we can get to show up at a gathering, and then work from there. And I understand the whole thing with what is it? The truth, the website that you tried to set up that got hacked. I know that was the whole idea of that, to try to find people in our own communities, because I don't know a whole lot of people out there. I meant to call in yesterday. It sounded like one of your callers was from Tucson. Was I mistaken? Did you have a caller from Tucson yesterday?
We did.
Yeah, I mean, I need to get together with people like that. If there's other people here in this community, I want to get together with these people and see what we can do,
Yeah, maybe we could even organize locally on this page right here, this Patreon, because right now this is the group of 1,000 people who are most dedicated, and we've maybe I'll just start a thread like that, and somebody can put a comment out there. Hey, I'm in this city looking for people nearby that want to meet up and do something. So
yeah, it's all organization. Just think about the tyrants, people that roll over us. What do they do so well? They organize. They're in their little secret lodges. Organizing against us, how to stay in control, how to stay on top of us, how to keep us, ill-informed. They don't want us to know anything. That's obvious. So, yeah, I mean, that's what we have to do. We have to organize better.
Sure.
It's not that difficult. You know, just really see what's out there. You know, that's what we got to do.
How far would you be willing to travel from Tucson to meet people? Would you meet in Los Angeles? Could you do that?
I could do that. You know, as long as I had, you know, a few days or a week or so, I could probably get that time to go where I needed to go. You know, I work for the post office. I've got plenty of time. I've got a lot of time off. I just got to give them a few days, make sure somebody's there that can fill in for me. It's not a problem. I would do it because, you know, I'm dedicated to getting this out. I want people to know about it. I want people in my own community to start seeing this outside of what I talked about. Once these people, they see other people talking about it, then they're more prone to, you know, take a second or third look at this. It's like, whoa, okay, maybe what these guys have been talking about, maybe there is something to this, you know. And I think that's how it has to start, you know. It's just keeping it on the internet. It's not going to go anywhere, Zach. You know that. We're just trying to build this community of what we already have, and you're just constantly fighting against these people,
right?
You know, with censorship and everything. We just don't even really know. We have really no idea. We only can guess how many people are out there that are willing. You know, we just need to find out, I think.
I completely agree. We got to do it. Hey, friend, there's a guy who's called just over and over and over. He really wants to get through, so I'm going to switch over to him so he doesn't keep calling back. Thanks as always, friend. Have a great day.
See you guys.
Be safe out there. All right, I think we got Rick. He's called a lot. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing fine there, Zach. I'm calling from Louisiana.
Thanks for calling.
And, real good, man. We may be going the wrong direction here. Why diffuse it out to the masses when it only takes a few to make it happen?
Is that true?
I'm thinking when you focus energy, you know, and again, I'm coming out of religion and Christianity and Hebrew roots where two or more are gathered. So that's the common denominator too, not the masses. If you want, look what they're trying to get the masses into the streets. I'm thinking two or more fully focused, you know, that's laser energy.
Okay.
And I understand everybody, and I understand you. I've been following you since 2016. And, you know, I've had successes, I've had failures, you know, I've dropped a couple of nuggets here and there, but like, if they don't want it, move on and stay focused because there is a there.
So, okay, I'm imagining two people going out into a big city trying to raise awareness of the masses. Is that a mistake? Are you saying that that's not what we should do with two people? Or are you saying?
I'm thinking that could be a mistake. That is, and again, hear me clear when I use the word quote unquote Jesus. Yeah, you're casting pearls before swine. Why do that?
Well, to me, the whole goal is to help our fellow man see what we see is taking place in the world, because most people are totally shut off to truth. And
no, there's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. But if you know, again, and I've studied scripture from the side of the book to the right side of the book, and Proverbs said, if they don't have a want to, there is no want to, no matter what. And I don't care if I win $1,000 on the Colts. You know what I mean? That may open an eye or two. But again, we got to be wise as serpents, harmless as doves out here, and you see what I'm just saying? And believe me, I've had this. I mean, I've done this before. Hey, going back to when in the 70s when I had some really good dope, I wanted to turn everybody onto it.
Sure.
Well, this is good. This is good dope. And today people don't want to smoke, so why waste my time?
I hear what you're saying, and I agree with what's written in scripture and all these other spiritual texts, that if people don't want to see, they're not going to see, and that's exactly what we witnessed in the world. But I myself personally am too restless living in this world the way it is to just be content. And I can't just sit there in scripture and have, you know, to me, I have to, even if it's impossible, I still have to pursue it to help wake up more people. I mean, I can't live under this tyranny.
I'm not discouraging you from pursuing it at all. I mean, and I'm just, you know, I'm a DJ on radio, and I mean, I'm 63, and I grew up to rock and roll, but now the lyrics have so much more, and thanks to you, But I mean, Bodhisattva by Steely Dan. You know what a Bodhisattva is?
I do not.
Look it up, or verify me. Don't believe anything I say. Verify everything I say.
Tell me how to spell that. How do you spell that?
Bodhi. I think it's Bodhisattva. And to me, it's quote unquote Jesus on the Mount of Transfiguration. A Bodhisattva is somebody who becomes enlightened, and rather than go on to more enlightenment, they stay to help the suffering. So you could be a Bodhisattva, and I understand the heart cry, but what I'm saying is diffusion of energy and focus. Again, give me a break. You don't know you never knew who Derek was 5 years ago. Now you got a brother in arms from what, Iowa? Is he in Iowa?
He's in Wisconsin.
And then oh gosh, what's the guy up in Massachusetts? I mean, Zenith. So it's working. And here where we want to go to the streets, I don't want to go to the streets anymore. I want to get to the understanding, so that then you speak and speak with power.
Okay.
That's all. I appreciate what you're doing, and I've been there, like I said, from the get go. I've fallen away. I've come back, but I'm still there, man. And I'm hearing this, and you should be encouraged by. I just heard these 3 other guys that called me right before. They're going like, we need to do this. No. You need to stop. You need to pause. You need to get understanding. Again, above all, get what? Get understanding. Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding. And so if we all go out there, hey man, I got to show you why LeBron James missed that dunk. Who cares, man? They just want to, you know what I mean? But get understanding, and you got the understanding. And what was it? The guy that you talked with just the other, they're coming at you with this like, I don't believe it. They don't want to, and B, they're not going to take the time to put in what it takes to get the understanding.
Well, I feel that a lot of people, their understanding is growing each day.
Very much.
And what I'm saying right now is, look, year after year, we've been watching how they're syncing up these disasters with sports, and people are clueless to it. So I just feel that everyone right now who's having to evacuate their home and watch their town burn to the ground, they deserve a chance to have this understanding. So I think what the people are saying is, we need to get to these communities, and we need to raise awareness for those who are willing to see, because perhaps there's more people in that crowd who, when they are when they have the chance to come across this message, their eyes will open to it, and that's not going to happen unless it comes across their street or their path. So,
well, I fully understand that. I mean, I'm in Louisiana, where the freaking hurricanes and where the geostorming all down here like crazy. I get it, and again, I mean, having daughters I've raised, and you want to reach out, no. They'll come to it, provided we walk in it. And then demonstrate it. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I appreciate your call, friend. Oh,
what's that?
I was going to switch over because somebody kept calling back just like you did, but they're not calling in right now. So I'll let you keep talking until they call back, and then we'll switch over. So if you got it,
that's fine. That's fine. I just like, if everybody would center down, and it's like, I want to be a martial artist. Well, you're not going to get it after 1 month. You got to practice, and then you'll grow in the power and understanding of it. And that's all I'm saying.
I see it. All right, they're calling back, friend. I appreciate your call and opinion. You have a good day. You take care. Hello, caller.
Zach, hi.
Hello.
This is JY. I called yesterday. I spoke a little bit about The Economist and Travis Scott.
Yes.
Sorry, I caught the first 10 minutes of your live stream, and I had to jump into another meeting. So what I'm about to bring up, I don't know if you've covered it already, but just in case you haven't, Walmart on YouTube, they have a YouTube channel. They released a commercial, I guess you can call it. I think it's called Light Up Black Friday, again, with the same theme about light.
Huh.
I put it in the Gematria calculator, and it's 185 in the English ordinal, just like Donald John Trump. November 11th, which is in 2 days, spelled out, is 185. I'll be honest, man, I'm so anxious. And, there's another fire in SoCal today. Is that right? Like I'm here in the Bay Area. It's like so hard to breathe here too, just because of the fire that's up north. So if you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that was the big focus. What I talked about was the weather warfare and this repetitive pattern of fires synced up with sports and year after year. And I know what it's like to have to go outside and suffer from breathing because there's so much smoke in the air. It was like that up here in Washington State all throughout this summer. So when this is over, just start the video over. The main focus, the first 30 minutes or so, is me talking about the fires. But
okay. And what do you think about the lights? The theme about lights and lights going out.
Well, that's the theme. That's the theme I've been worried about the most since 2013. So, you know, again, when Janet Napolitano resigned from the head of Homeland Security, she said that it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when the next 9/11 comes, which will be the national blackout. And you know, they like to keep us in fear, but they do have the power to do that to us. And you know, it would be the ultimate mockery and the ultimate deceit too. So,
and in light of the 1988 cover, which just says 2018 on the bottom of it, and we're just, you know, we're down to the last 50 days or so in this year. Do you think this is it in terms of, like, you know, are they going to create chaos with, you know, a blackout or the grid going down? Like, do you think this is it, or is it just so bad where it's to the point where we shouldn't even think about that? Or I don't know what to make of all this, because all my research is.
So this is my thought. This is my thought. If they turned out the power on us, you know, a lot of people would be in a lot of trouble because they don't have any local agriculture. They don't have the supplies to sustain them. So, I mean, it's a scenario that it's not pleasant to think about because it would be devastating. But what you could do in this world is take preparations in case that happened. Have a plan. Have a thought of action. Make sure you have water at your house, some dry food that would last without refrigeration. And, you know, I still think that the day they turn out the power on us and unleash ultimate chaos is some point off. But, you know, nobody knows exactly when that type of day might come. So that's why in my house I have, you know, many gallons of water. I do have a storage of dry food that will last for so many years. Just in case. So, and also, I mean, honestly, I've been taking precautions too, just year by year being awake. Part of the reason I wanted to get out of the city in 2011, living downtown, was when they declared the United States to be a national battleground in the war on terrorism. I was like, well, if they're taking precautions like this, I don't want to be in a city center in case chaos breaks out. This isn't where you want to be. So then I moved a little bit more into suburbia. And, you know, since then, I've now moved more into the rural country where there is local agriculture, there is more local food. So I feel that the spot I'm in right now is a lot better spot to be if something like that happened than, say, Seattle, where I was before. So, I mean, if you can take steps in your life to improve your situation for such a scenario, I'd encourage you to do that. But at the same time, I wouldn't say live in fear. I mean, if they pull the plug on us, we're all going to be living in chaos together. But whatever steps you can take now to guard against a situation like that, I think you should, because, you know, we live in crazy times. We're ruled over by crazy people. They've done horrible things to large populations before. So it's not unreasonable to mentally prepare yourself, but don't let it devastate you and, you know, make you live under an eternal rain cloud, if you will.
I hear you, and I don't mean to instill fear, you know, to whoever may be listening, but, you know, just looking at that 1988 cover, they say get ready for a one world currency, and we obviously haven't seen that yet. And on that same cover, we see fiat burning up in flames. I don't mean to do all this fear mongering stuff, but I feel like they didn't put 2018, you know, just to be a year off. I feel like, you know, we know a lot about these people, and one thing for sure is they love to tell us what's going to happen before it's going to happen. They love to be right because, you know, they are the ones writing history. I don't know.
Well, and to your point about that magazine cover, it did foreshadow the date 10/10/2018, and that became the third worst date for economic performance for the market in history.
Yeah.
Friend, I really appreciate your call. We got a new caller calling in. They're calling over and over, so I'm going to let them come in. Appreciate it, friend. Stay strong out there.
Thank you, Zach.
All right, take care. Hello, caller.
Hey, this is Isaac again from yesterday, man, from Tucson. I just heard somebody was in Arizona earlier.
Yeah, yeah. Al called in from Tucson.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm just calling about the idea thing. With, I know that you was talking about the light thing, but I'm calling about the idea thing. I think that we should do something that has to do with actually like going to we could go to like a sports event and go ahead and use social media, because you got to remember all the humans are fucking controlled by social media, and they work subconsciously like as humans. You know what I mean? They can't see. They can't just like, yeah, they'll scroll by it, but they're always gonna see it on social media. If you go and say, oh, look out for number 10, watch, and then all of a sudden during the middle of the day, number 10 will score. You know what I mean? They won't be able to deny that. Plus, posting it, you know how anal people get about when you start posting shit on social media. You know what I mean? You know the best.
Right.
Yeah. So what I think is that we should make like a legit, like an Instagram, a Twitter, a Snapchat, everything, and start trying to literally show them, okay, fine, you're not going to listen to the computer, but you're going to listen to your phone. You know what I'm saying? And that way, little by little, they're going to, like, you got to remember the mind is so strong, subconsciously, they're going to always remember that. And when they see number 10 or number whatever the hell you want, scores a touchdown or whatever, they have no choice but to think back, oh, wow. I mean, it could be a coincidence, but he did say that. You know what I'm saying? But it takes us actually going to sports events, I think, actually going there and posting us being there and holding up signs, you know, showing that, oh shit, watch out for this number, or this happened, so this is going to happen. Or, you get what I'm saying?
I do get what you're saying. Yeah, and sports games are where the city is. I mean, there's always a lot of buzz around a sports game. So, yeah, I think it is a great place to go and wake up people. And I've been saying I want to do that for years now, and I haven't. And that's why I realized I just have to get out and start doing stuff, because there's things I've been talking about for a long time now, and they still haven't happened. So I guess I got to lead the way with the action and hopefully inspire more people to do similar things. So right now I've been talking to my lady for the last few days. She's not real keen on me going places and doing this alone, but I'm warming her up to it. So.
No, I said you definitely, I don't think that, definitely not going along is a good idea, definitely, because, obviously, if a group of whatever security, they're going to have to take out 30 of us. That'll be a lot harder than just one person. You get what I'm saying?
I do get what you're saying. Friend, I think you got a great idea. I'm going to switch over to the next caller. Thanks for calling us back. Appreciate the passion. What's that? Hey, caller. Oh, hold on. I got to get you on. I got to get your volume boosted. Here we go. Okay, you're good.
Hey, what's going on, Zach?
Another day in paradise, man.
All right. Hey, I was thinking, well, when the government tries to, fool us or to control us, what they do is they use a lot of comedy to suggest things, predictive programming and such things. So I was thinking maybe someone else was mentioning using memes. I'm sorry, using social media. Starting a social media page. I think that's a good idea. But I think using comedy and memes to suggest the truth to people might have more people, out there to seek the truth.
I think that's a great idea, and that's a way that appeals to a lot of people. There are some people who are making Gematria memes out there in the world. They're not here talking to us today, but I've noticed that on Twitter, on Instagram, people are sending me, they're like, hey, check this out. Somebody has a Gematria meme going on Instagram and stuff. So it is happening, but perhaps more of us need to do it. So yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, and I had another idea. Is once we can get this movement going, we should start, I believe, some honest sports leagues. something where we could actually enjoy sports without having it ruined for us with all this rigging going on now.
Well, I agree. That's definitely something that would be nice to do. Legitimate sports. People enjoy sport. If it was legitimate, it'd be all the better. So.
Yeah. So just a couple of ideas that I had. I just want to say I really enjoy all the work you do, and just some of this stuff is just mind blowing.
Well, I appreciate it, friend, and I appreciate your call and your ideas. I'm going to switch over because we got another caller, so you have a great day.
All right, thank you.
All right, welcome. Take care. Hello, caller.
Hey, how's it going, man? It's Conspiracy. I had an idea. How about create like a game?
Okay, tell me more about it.
Well, I already made a template using your information. It's at a like a kind of blog type of setting, but like basically it's like a quiz for people that either do or do not understand already Gematria, but it kind of tricks you into learning how to do it without even realizing you're doing it.
Okay, tell me more.
You can go to it by going to the Gematria database and then going to the top left. It's called the decode game.
All right, hold on. Oh, shoot. Hold on, I'm trying to get to your website. That's cool. I didn't know you'd already done this and put it up on the site. When did you complete this? Whoops.
A little while ago, I told Derek about it. I think he played it. I'm trying to work on a round 2 right now, or a level 2. I mean.
Okay, hold on. There it is.
Go to
Okay. You said the game's in the top left?
Yeah.
Why do I not see it?
I'll show you. I'm gonna see what you're doing. Yeah, go to the decode game, top left. Right, it's like you see the taskbars, the first taskbar, all the way to the right. I mean the right, not the left.
Oh, yeah, I was looking on the left. There we go. It's on the right. Got it. Nice.
Yeah, the decode game. If you click on that.
Okay, I'm here.
Yeah, and it'll take you to it, and that's
directions.
That's it
okay.
right there.
Cool.
And I have all those connected there. If you go down, it'll say welcome user, and then directions. You push the directions, it starts you out with a little understanding of what you're doing.
Okay, very cool. Very cool. I'm gonna promote this.
Go.
Awesome,
it's
man.
Kind of choose your own adventure style. So like if you click the right button, then it sends you to the next place and it gives you some points. If it starts you out with 10 points, but you either gain points or lose points, and then you kind of out of your score as you go. So then if you're getting all the correct answers, then you're going to have a perfect score. If you're getting, some like maybe 9 out of 10 or something like that, then you're going to get like a lower score. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Nice.
So
I got the first question right. I already feel like a winner. Let's see.
Oh, you're going to get all of them because it's all your stuff.
Nice,
and
man.
You see how I also wrote the things? I put the letters instead of numbers. I mean, the numbers instead of letters for certain stuff.
Uh-huh.
So that's to trick the reader into like realizing that they're learning Gematria, like right there.
Okay, very cool. Very cool.
Anyway, so yeah, that's an idea. If any other programmers out there want to like pick this up and run with it.
Sure.
And then there's also the idea of having like a con, like a Gematria con type of thing, or tacking it on with another con. So then we got to like kind of make this process fun for people, so they feel like it's something to be drawn to. If we keep like throwing out all this like terror and scary kind of stuff, they go away from it real fast. I found that if you start if you start bringing people in with like the dates type of stuff, like the whole 4th of July stuff, and you don't like tack it on with the whole, you know, conspiratorial element of it right away. You know, you like lead them into it. You just kind of plant the seed. They come back to you and they start asking you questions.
Huh.
So anyway, that's my idea. I just wanted to throw that at you and let you know what's going on. Oh, and I also wanted to let you know about the database itself. The reason it's color coded, I didn't get to tell you this before because, you know, short time, but basically it's to keep the themes together. Like, so death themes are going to be like red, you know, negative themes are going to be red, but the death themes are going to be red with like a darker, like, highlight over that, right? You have like Saturn themes and Masonic themes are going to be purple, and but the ones that are like 33 and 233 and 332 are all going to be like purple numbers with like a black highlight, and that's going to show that it's like one of those coded numbers that show up over and over and over again. So I'm trying to show the patterns, and then also I've been like kind of tacking on these graph elements as well, like graphing out, you know, what sums are what and how the graph looks if you put the words next to each other that are matching with each other with different, you know, the 4 base ciphers.
Very cool. Yeah, man.
So anyway, I want to let you go, you know, get on to the next caller. I just want to throw that stuff out.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was good talking to you again. And yeah, we got to get in touch with Robert J. Morris because we got to do another fun podcast like before. That was really fun.
All right, cool. Appreciate all the hard work, man. Awesome ideas. Thank you.
No problem. Take it easy, man.
All right.
Keep up the good work.
All right, you too. Take care, man. All right, you guys. Very cool. Like his game idea, like all the calls, lots of great ideas. I really do think we got to pound the pavement, though. You know, the man had a point who said we're not going to wake up people who don't want to, don't have any will to do so. But the other part of my mind says, well, I've had a lot of people reach out to me and they say, you know, I wasn't really awake, but I came across your work and it made me want to learn more. So I want to find those people. Book tour. Yeah, I've been wanting to do the book tour, man. What sucks is my book not being in print. It's harder to do a book tour when your book's not in print. So I guess I could go and I could promote the ebook. And again, what somebody pointed out to me that they did with my book is they went to Lulu and they took the electronic file and went here to this publish for free. And then they just uploaded the electronic file and they had the book printed on here. And it cost them $40 US about. I think it was just under 40. But that's a little bit pricey. I was hoping I'd be able to get the book at a lower cost because I know a lot of people don't have $40 to spend. So I know I got to get it printed. Crystal says she's going to try out the Lulu thing. Yeah, you guys are all welcome to do that. You just take the electronic file and you submit it there. Miss Mildred had an organic side type of thing going on in her life. Yeah, that's something you can do. You can take apart the PDF. That's another thing you could do. If there was just a section of the book you wanted to print it, you can break up the PDF file you have. You could just print like chapters 1 through 7, which is kind of like the introduction. I mean, you could even make the Murder by Numbers chapter its own book. You know, you could have maybe I could just do that too. I guess that's a thought. I could do that. So you guys, I gotta wrap this up for now. There's a number of things I gotta get done tonight, and then I have to be back on here at Patreon at 7 p.m. for the Friday night decodes. I got a pretty full schedule now doing all the things we're doing here. So gotta run for a bit. Again, appreciate all you guys and the support. And I will be back on at 7 o'clock tonight. So Jules says that's what she wants to do too. So okay, maybe that's the thought. Chakras, I think the chakras are very interesting. It's been a while since I talked about those. I do believe I talk about the 7 chakras in the book, just barely. Yeah, exactly. A smaller book is easier to travel with. All right, you guys, have a great rest of your day. For those of you who are into the sports thing, I'll see you tonight. And again, appreciate you guys a lot. It means everything that you guys are supporting. Have a great rest of your day, all. Until next time.